Now to a CBS 46 exclusive. A $600,000 reward is being offered in a nearly 20-year-old murder case. Now, here's what's unusual about this. Someone's already serving a life sentence for the crime. As CBS 46's Jeff Cherico shows us, missing evidence is raising questions about whether that convicted murderer got a fair trial or deserves a new one.
I mean, I could cry right now, but I'm going to try not to.
It's still tough for Joan Davis and her husband Dave to talk about the trial that ended in their son's conviction for murder.
I was outraged. I thought, this is a kangaroo court.
Scott Davis, now 50, is serving a life sentence at Phillips State Prison in Beaufort. Since his conviction in 2006, the Davises have been fighting for his freedom, claiming investigators mishandled evidence. Prosecutors pushed ahead anyway, and Fulton County Superior Court Judge Tom Campbell looked the other way.
I couldn't believe that Judge Campbell, that he kept letting them put this evidence up there, evidence that we had never seen.
I'm innocent, and I feel very confident that I will be acquitted.
The case was featured on CBS's 48 Hours. Scott Davis was arrested in 1996 and charged with murdering his estranged wife's boyfriend, David Coffin, and setting his home on fire. Charges were dropped for lack of evidence, but 9 years later, Davis was rearrested.
We, the jury, find Scott Davis guilty.
The jury convicted him, even though there was no physical evidence linking him to the crimes.
We found a tremendous amount of problems with the case.
Criminal defense attorney Marcia Shine took Scott's case after his conviction.
This is the list we sort of made for the case of our own that identifies about 7 deadly sins that we think highlights the case and pulls the case together.
Her board of police sins echoes her petition for a new trial in which she alleges widespread police misconduct. Police violated more than 300 of its own standard operating procedures in handling evidence, altered the tape used to record Davis's police interview, and Atlanta police kept its evidence room looking like this at the time of Davis's trial.
This is a trash pile of evidence with no labels, no information as to whose case it belongs to.
72 pieces of evidence went missing, including fingerprints found on the burned Porsche. They weren't Davis's, but for 9 years, police never entered them into a national database to identify whose they were. Then before trial, police lost them. Police also lost the murder weapon. It had been tested by a GBI examiner who later resigned for falsifying reports.
How does the state get to allow that testimony without defense being able to see the firearm or have their own experts evaluate it? Is that a fair trial? That's the question that's always bothered me.
Do you feel that Scott Davis got a fair trial?
Without a doubt.
District Attorney Paul Howard insists Davis's rights weren't violated and any evidence that was lost wasn't bad faith or intentional. But in a petition in federal court, Shine disputes that, pointing out an evidence room clerk admitted under oath that she lied on an affidavit about receiving the missing murder weapon, and that her superior told her to do so.
Is that not bad faith if someone lies on an affidavit and admits it under oath?
Jeff, I almost have to laugh when I hear that. The courts have already dealt with that issue.
It makes the Constitution almost meaningless if you let these types of situations continue.
Shine says previous courts made mistakes, and she's hopeful that a federal judge will soon order a new trial. Scott's parents, meanwhile, are offering a $600,000 reward for information that will vindicate their son before it's too late.
We may never see him again free before we die.
U.S. District Judge Amy Totenberg has the case and could order a new trial. It's unclear, however, when she may issue her ruling. We spoke to Scott Davis from prison. You can listen to that interview on our website, CBS46.com.